First of all, I would like to thank the Business World team for having me here, and to all of you to take out time to participate in this important discussion. The topic is the future is now, harnessing digital transformation to shape tomorrow's success. We all know that post COVID, digitalization of businesses have accelerated like anything. They present both opportunities and threats. And if we talk in terms of the MSME sector per se, that what opportunities and threats the digitalizations present to us, I see these are more as an opportunity, because the digital interventions allow MSMEs to upscale their operations without being bound by any of the handicaps they might have faced. The digital journey is tough for MSMEs. I'm aware of that's a threat, that those who are not conscious of the potential of digitalization, and if they delay onboarding this emerging opportunity, they will be left behind, and that's a threat that the sector has to be very conscious of. So let me first talk about what opportunities this presents. And until now, most of the smaller businesses in India have focused on goods and services which are more physical in nature. Whereas if you see that fastest growing export from India is now services exports. And the emerging opportunity in services exports is phenomenal because of many factors happening all around us. One is that we all see that there is a growing right wing activism in most developed countries, and which means that there is more and more focus on local manufacturing and local jobs. But there will be opportunities in terms of digitally delivered services where India definitely has a lead, because of the education system that we have, and it helped us during the Y2K issue also globally, that India took the lead in the world. Same way, our education system today has more than 45 million students in higher education. And if we see STEM education, we are world leader in terms of STEM education. And even the women population, if you see, 43% of our STEM students are women, which is the highest in the world. We all have heard that the global capability centers are being set up in India, which are catering to the digitally delivered services for large multinational conglomerates, because they are able to deliver the shared services and innovation from India at a fraction of a cost than they would have incurred in their own host countries. But what it means is that while bigger companies will be able to execute, will be able to reduce their costs through their own global capability centers, 80 to 90% businesses in developed countries are small and medium businesses, and they cannot, and they will not be left with the high cost of services when the bigger companies have moved to digitally deliver services from India. That would mean that there is an opportunity to do what global capability centers are doing for their parents in these countries, is an opportunity for the to do for small and medium businesses in Europe and US. And for that, NSDC is working with higher education system. We are bringing the courses, etc., into Indian education ecosystem, which can help grow this stream of talent. The other area where there is large opportunity emerging is that construction sites and energy projects in other countries, they they require lot of knowledge services for which they do not have the workforce, and the way the resistance is growing for emigration in those countries, lots of design, drawing, compliance, engineering, procurement, these kind of the services can also be delivered to those large construction projects in other countries. Similarly, in manufacturing also, all of you might have heard that countries in Europe are coming out with newer and newer regulations which are putting restrictions on trade with countries like India, while some countries are resorting to tariff war, the other countries are using regulatory mechanisms, and they are using climate change as a regulatory handle to browbeat Indian manufacturers, and most of the Indian manufacturers are MSMEs. That means that we need to scale up our climate context of our products dramatically, because otherwise those countries will impose climate related tariff barriers on the exports from India. That would mean that the way we manufacture our products, the way we do the supply chain management for these products, they all have to become green in all context. And this scaling of effort requires massive collaboration, and that's where again the digital can play an important role. The other area is that even for the competitiveness within the country, the workforce needs to be upskilled, because the we are entering into highly competitive markets. The way the US currency is becoming stronger and stronger, the competition for Indian market will also grow, and Indian manufacturers will have to become competitive, and that would require that the workforce is the weakest area for MSMEs, which I say, where large companies are able to do their own training programs and their own skilling, reskilling programs. Smaller companies somehow are not able to do those structured interventions, and because many of the smaller companies fear that if they do any investment into the reskilling, upskilling of their workforce, they will immediately switch over to another company, and that would be a wasted effort from their side. So I think there is an opportunity here that if we can dramatically reduce the cost of skilling, reskilling, upskilling, that would be an opportunity, and that would happen if because NSDC has been conscious of this, and we have built a digital platform which is called Skill India Digital, where we have opened up the opportunities for skilling, reskilling, upskilling of the workers in workforce, and keeping in mind that the workers in smaller businesses cannot be spared for longer times. The MSMEs would like that what is the fastest way where they do not lose productive hours of their workers, so that the workers can get upskilled or reskilled, and that does not impose very high costs. So you adopting digital modes of skilling and assessment and certification of these workforce could be another opportunity area, because that is how you will be able to improve productivity of your operations. We are very conscious that today the biggest source of muda, in lean language we say that waste is muda, the biggest opportunity lies in labor waste, the way the labor waste happen. And we are also conscious of that the education levels of Indian workers who are typically employed in the MSME sector are not very high. So how do we take into consideration that the education levels may not be high, and many of these workers may be migrant workers. They may be coming from states and working from some states and working in other state, and they may face language barriers. So the training programs that NSDC develops is available in all 22 Indian languages. So it gives an opportunity to quickly adopt a training program into the language where the worker is working, because that workforce productivity also depends upon how the workers are able to work together as a group. And when they work together as a group, the common language becomes an extremely important factor. So taking into consideration that we can deliver training programs in the language in which they make sense, which is relevant for the area of operation, they should be only as short in time as possible, so that they do not lose productive hours, and the cost of importing that training dramatically reduces. These are the ways to go to make the businesses competitive, and that's where again the digital plays an important role, and NSDC has developed those kinds of solutions. The other area where I believe that all businesses will have to become very conscious of, that that the other countries like Vietnam, etc., who are coming up very fast on this export in the global markets where companies from India are competing, they are adopting automation in a very accelerated way. And whenever we talk of automating a certain kind of activity, so no businesses will ever be fully automated. That's a utopian world where none of us should believe that. What will happen is that organizations who are able to understand their value chain better and are able to identify opportunities of automation where you make the minimum investment and highest productivity gains, those are the kind of jugaad innovation that India can drive. And these are the kind of solutions that we as an organization can work with MSMEs, that deconstruct the work itself, deconstruct the work into tasks, and identify which of these tasks which are amenable to automation at the lowest possible cost. And that is again an area of opportunity where NSDC believes that digital intervention can dramatically reduce the cost of doing business. So we have all talked about ease of doing business, but cost of doing business is also an important activity. Even the compliance costs, MSMEs incur very high compliance costs, and thanks to Digital India, many of you may not be fully aware of the potential of Digital India. We have a large proportion of Indian government delivered services digitized, and NSDC can definitely work with MSMEs that how do we deploy digital as solution to reduce not only your compliance burdens but also cost of compliance. So compliance itself is a huge opportunity in terms of digitalization of businesses. And I can go on and on and on, and I know I'm conscious of that this is the last session, and everybody has their plans to quickly disperse. I will not take much time, but what I will only summarize is that every aspect of the business that MSMEs do today, whether it's from design to delivery to the end customer, and also maintaining a live relationship with customers, and designing, redesigning your businesses basis those feedbacks, and continuously on this move of rejigging your value chain is the way to go. The businesses are being disrupted every day, and believe me that generative AI is going to disrupt every single business. But uh, generative AI is also a big opportunity for those who have started late in digitalization journey, because it's the first time we are talking about cognitive automation, and cognitive automation can help do a lot of those things which are available to only big businesses earlier, are not are now an opportunity for even to do at scale with these smaller businesses. So taking this view, I believe that if we embrace digital, if we embrace AI, these are the biggest levelers of competition. Perhaps for the first time, and all of many of you would be aware that how DeepSeek disrupted the whole edge that US was having on China. It clearly demonstrates that AI is a technology which is great leveler. Until now, and more, and not me, but you all know better than me that technology has always created the gap between the bigger players and smaller players, because they could invest earlier into technology and they moved ahead faster in this. First time we are having access to a technology in form of AI, where incremental gains that a large well organized business will have is much smaller than the incremental gain that a business which is at median can make. And that is where I think that all of us should be very conscious of, and should look towards digitalization as an opportunity. We'll be happy to engage with you. Our idea should be to identify a group of similar looking businesses, so that we can design and implement solutions at scale. It is difficult to do very bespoke businesses, but at NSDC we believe that skilling is not about only a blue collar worker. It's about everyone: business leaders, investors, managers. Uh, Everybody needs to be reskilled, upskilled in emerging world of tomorrow, and that is how we believe where our heart lies, and we will be happy to work with all of you in this case. Thank you so much.